Hey friends, it's me, Christiana Gaudet, your Tarot Fairy Godmother. It's Thursday and I am back with the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter recap. Do you get the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter in your inbox every Wednesday? If you don't, there is a link in the description to see this week's newsletter and to subscribe. Thank you to everybody who is here. Those of you who are here, like, you totally know what to do and you're doing it, so thank you. This week's topic is thank your younger self. And here's how that came to be. You know, scrolling as we do, I saw a lot of memes about what advice would you give your younger self? If you could go back and tell your younger self something, what would it be? And I think that's a great exercise. But it also, like, in reading people's comments, it also struck me that maybe also we need to think about the timeline of our lives and thank our younger selves for some of the decisions that they made, for some of the things that they did, for some of the things that they endured. So often, I don't care if you're psychic, I don't care if you're a whiz with the tarot cards, so often we cannot fully see the impact that our actions, our decisions, our efforts will have until many years later. And so, this is what I want to do readings about, and as per usual, as I'm setting up this live stream, I'm thinking, are people going to get it? Are people going to get what the question should be? And I'm looking at the questions coming in, and oh, you get it. You absolutely get it. As we talk about thanking our younger selves. All right. As you can see, I am working today with the very beautiful Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. This was a gift to me from Melissa Grosso, who is a member here and I believe is here with us today. So you can see how much I am enjoying my deck. Okay, let's get to the readings. That's what we're doing here. Smile Soul 20, here we go. Oh, and folks, I want to let you know while I'm shuffling, let me do some promotions while I'm shuffling. If you happen to be a member of this channel at the Sons level, at the highest level, there is a special gift for you in the community chat. So go check that out. If that's something that you can use, by all means, do use it. All right, here we go. Smile Soul 20, it is so great to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. The first question that I see is from Mixuir, Michelle in Canada. Thank you for being here. The three times I've lived out of Canada, was it in my highest good to come back, or should I have stayed one of those times? And then you give me the years. I always wonder. And you know, the great thing about this, like in our, tarot instruction, what goes on this channel, we're like half tarot instruction and half tarot reading. So those two things interact and intersect. That was the word I wanted, quite a bit. And this is a great, for those of you who are studying my looking to the past, looking to the future, what if methods, we're about to do one. Okay, so Michelle has given us the years. And she's wondering if each time that she chose to come back to Canada, if at that time it was the right decision. So the first one was in 0102. And your decision then to go back to Canada was based then entirely on your belief that it was the right thing to do, without a doubt that you needed to. Had you stayed at that time, the outcome would not have been desirable. That first time you were right to return to Canada. The second time, 0506. when you returned to Canada then, that felt emotionally like it needed to happen. Had you stayed and not returned to Canada at that time, that was a time when you might have been happy for a moment, but, Canada was going to call you. So that second time you could have stayed for longer, but Canada would have called you. Now, the third time, 13 to 15, when you felt called back to Canada then, okay, all right. Had you stayed, yeah, no. The only time of those three times that it's even like if you had a time machine and could go back, the only time I see it would even be even tempting to consider that would have been the 05-06 time. But even then, I think Canada would have called you back. So, and if we say any of those times, had you stayed away from Canada, what would your life be like now? It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, Michelle. There's no clear advantage. So, Justine, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. We appreciate you. Let's see. My longest relationship was on and off during and after my college years. Things ended badly, but before it ended, we had so many good times. I often wonder what could have been. Does he ever think of me? And thank you, Justine, Martha, and everyone who commented on the newsletter. Really appreciate it. I noticed that in the past few months, I've been writing a lot about looking to the past in different ways. That is probably virtue of the decade that I entered last year and will be solidly putting myself in this October. So you're probably seeing my own musings of senior citizenhood. But I think it's important. But, the other thing is I think it reflects, we've got so many retrogrades, planetary retrogrades going on. And B, I tend to reflect not just what I'm thinking about, but what I see my clients thinking about. So maybe, all of us have been looking to the past a bit. So your question was, does this person ever think of you? Of course, and with great fondness. But coming to that same conclusion. So let's just ask, is there any way that this could have worked? That you could have gotten through the bad times, that you could have made it work? Was there any fork in the road where you could have actually made this thing work in the long term? I don't know, maybe. But if we look at that and we say, well, if you had found a way to make it work, where would you be with that today? You'd probably have a couple of kids with a guy that doesn't treat you fairly, that you don't really love. Seriously. I think, and this is a hard one because my mother used to talk about this a lot. They say that absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's also true that nostalgia, memories improve upon themselves. We remember things sometimes better than they were, sometimes worse than they were too. That can happen too, depending on our mood about that thing. But I think with relationships, and I'm going to tell you something. Okay, true confessions from your tarot fairy godmother. I had one of those. And it was like, this was like a high school romance, right? And I broke up with him because he was kind of clingy. And I remember, years later, sort of reconnecting with him and talking to mutual friends and like, why didn't I make this work? And after about 5 conversations with this person, I was like, oh, dodged a bullet. So that's something I could thank my younger self for, was knowing back then that I was right to dodge that bullet, even though there were good times. And I think the same may be true for you, Justine. Jackie Masters, you have a thought. I want to know what your thought is. And Martha, being in the 60s does bring a lot of reflection. It does. Okay. So folks coming in, please read the description and know that what we are doing today is readings about your younger self. We are looking to your past, to the pivotal points in your past when decisions were made or things happened. And, are you thanking yourself for that? Are you regretting that? Are you wondering what would have happened? Those are the questions. So those of you who are asking about when will I get married or things of that nature, I'm not going to do that. Not today. You want to do that? We do that on Saturdays. And you're more than welcome to come back. I really appreciate you being here. But we're only going to do the questions for the theme today. And thank you for understanding. All right. Justine, ouch. This is hard to hear because I want kids so bad now that I'm getting older. But if I wouldn't have been treated fairly, it wouldn't have been worth that life. Yeah, no. No. Anyone who has kids with someone who turns out to not be good at that can tell you, no, you didn't want that. You didn't want that. You didn't want that. No. All right. Next up, Medihan Ness. So nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Good morning. I just did the spread for my career that I regret. The outcome card is the Hierophant. I guess I did become a grumpy know-it-all. Well, perhaps yes. I knew that would happen. If I reached for my tea, you would see the whole of my arm. I'm still learning how to do this setup, right? But also, Ness, beyond becoming a grumpy know-it-all, the Hierophant is also the authority, the leader. You learned a lot. You grew. You became a leader. That's not a bad thing. All right. So, and Melissa definitely had inner child vibes come up when reading this week's newsletter. Sure. So Mediha's question, let's see. Okay. So I'm going to do Ness, Mediha Ness's question next. Then I'm doing Martha Vink. Then it's Melissa Grosso. Because YouTube only lets you use so many characters, and because people are putting it in quickly, sometimes people's questions get interspersed with each other. So that's how we're handling that. Okay. Ness, it's my bad habit to regret most of my decisions. I'd love to know how I could make the best of my worst choices in life. Thanks so much for the newsletter. Well, the regretting of decisions, I think you have a really good case of what-ifism, right? And here we go. Six of Cups reverse could really talk about regretting decisions. But if we look at every decision you have made in your life, Ness, it has brought you on your journey. It has helped you heal from and let go of things that haven't served you. And it's put you on a path of adventure, creativity, spirituality, and maybe even fun with people that you enjoy. So here we are now. And I think if we talk about how I can make the best of my worst choices in life, I think the first thing is to recognize that maybe none of them were bad choices. And maybe you could stop second guessing yourself so much. You're like a backseat driver with a video camera, right? So you're like backseat driving yourself in retrospect. And I don't feel like the decisions you've made have been terrible. They have taken you on this really incredible journey. But, you're a multi-talented person. There's so many things you could do in life. And you may have regrets about, I chose this, so I don't get to do that. And, that's just the price we pay when we are multi-talented and engaged in life. So in generalness, how you can make the best of all the things in your life is to recognize that any decision you would have made would have come with problems. So you've got a set of problems now. Had you made different decisions, you might have a different set of problems. But the problems you have now are handleable, and you have a lot of really good things in your life. And so I would just be with that. Does that make sense? All right. So, Melissa Grosso, I am now going to read for you with the cards you gave me. Yay. Thank you so much for being a member. And thank you for using members-only emojis. I often question my decisions, such as saying no to a career in the foreign service, moving countries every 2 to 4 years. What is a decision my younger self made that I should be grateful for? Well, now see, you cannot dangle a carrot like that in front of your tarot fairy godmother and not expect me to take a bite. So the first thing we're going to do, dear Melissa, is what would have happened had you decided to join the foreign service and move countries every 2 to 4 years? If you had chosen that, if you said yes to that instead of no, if you had done that, it would have been a decent life in a way, but you would have felt so ungrounded. Oh my gosh. It would have been all service. You would have enjoyed it, but you would have enjoyed serving. It would be like being in the military for you. That's how it would have been. You would have been in service. And so I think you made a good decision. I really do. That is a very romantic sounding career, but the things you thought about that made you say, yeah, no, probably correct. So I think, to answer your original question, you could thank yourself for that choice. Now, what other choices can you thank yourself for? The thing that doesn't feel like a choice. There are sometimes things within us that are just inherent. Where, yes, technically it was a choice, but it's not a choice, really. And Melissa, that was your choice to not follow the pre-laid out program for your life that would have been dictated by the cultural requirements. And so the fact that you did not marry the wrong person, the fact that you did not succumb to that, to any of that, not just that, that was emblematic, but all the things, because you inherently came to this planet with an understanding of this planet different from the understanding that your family might have wanted you to have. And so thank your younger self for having the wisdom to know that and follow that and embrace it, even though it was very subconscious in the beginning. How about that? All right. Nalini. Hang on a second. I found you and then I just overscrolled. Here we are. All right. Nalini Kalu, thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members-only emojis. I've always felt like I never fit in. Now that I look back, I'm grateful to my younger self for not giving in to the need to fit. Hallelujah, yes. Thank you for not shaving stuff off of yourself to fit in with lesser folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What part of my younger years was the most beneficial to me now? I know it was all important, but is there any specific part that really helped who I've become? What a beautiful, beautiful question. I love that. So this could specifically have to do with your father and interactions with your father and what you learned there. It could have to do with understanding of government and society and what you believe in terms of that and how you participate in society. I think along with that, it could have to do with spiritual choices, religious choices, what you chose to embrace and what you did not choose to embrace. All right. Claire C., thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. I'm grateful to my younger self for defending herself. Yeah, very good. How can I release the need to be so defensive now when I should trust? I need to tell her it's okay now. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, so how do you do that? Tell her that she can trust her intuition. Tell her that she can make choices, that she can tell her that you trust her, because that's what it really is, right? We have to be very defensive when the majority of people coming at us are problematic. We just are defensive against everyone because we don't have the luxury to be able to pick and choose. Now you can pick and choose, but you have to trust your intuition to do that. So that's the key. And Gina Rutledge, we're so happy to have you here with us today. Thanks for being a member. Claire C., this is such a therapeutic newsletter. Thank you. That makes me feel so good. You know, the funny thing is now, and you know, it's all y'all on this channel, but also other people that I work with who also read the newsletter. The feedback is so helpful to me because I'm not, like, the newsletter has evolved over time, over many, many years. And I'm still not sure what, you know, I just sort of like, okay, what's on everyone's mind now? I try to tap into the gestalt or whatever, and I'm glad it's working. Thank you. All right. Barbie Bird, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. I'm so grateful to my younger self for being so independent because it served me well in life. But do you think my mom raised me to be too independent? I feel like I isolated myself because I do not trust people to do the right thing, even though I know that's foolish and I can do it on my own. Any guidance on this? Should I have had my hand held a little more in my younger life? You know, like all moms, your mom was parenting from the place of reaction to her own trauma. And I mean, I think that's the way of it with parenting, is like we swing too far one way, too far another way. Of course, she could have been more moderate. Of course, she could have been. But that might have created other issues. So, you know, we appreciate the independence, but we also recognize there's collateral damage on that. And there's going to be collateral damage on everyone. You know, I mean, we all have it, right? And we all give it to our kids. So when we look at all of that, your whole thing here, Barbie Bird, is about trust. That's what it's coming down to, is you isolate yourself because you don't trust people, because you know what? A lot of people aren't freaking trustworthy. Makes sense. So what do you do? Like, how do you learn now not to isolate yourself? How do you learn to trust without putting yourself in a messed up situation? Because we all know it's true. You trust the wrong person, you're screwed, right? We all know this. So how do you open up more while still keeping yourself safe and still keeping yourself true to yourself? The key is boundaries. To know how to set boundaries, when to set boundaries, and how to set boundaries. If you are comfortable with boundaries and language around boundaries, and you're comfortable doing that, then you will be able to welcome people and not be so isolated, because you can always set a boundary. And if people don't listen to the boundary, they're out the door. Goodbye. All right. All right. Ness, I should say, I need all your newsletters all together in a workbook. Huh, that could happen. That could happen. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm reading through, like you can just see, like when I'm turned, like that's different now, right? When I'm turned, you can see that I'm reading. And I'm just reading Barbie's response to me. Okay, good. We got that. All right. Oh, Denise Woods, this is a lovely question. And Audrey M., so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. What part of my younger self can help me today? The part of your younger self that was always very good at taking care of your responsibilities. As a child, I think you were very good at your routines and responsibilities. And right now, routines and responsibilities can help you. Okay, Barbie Bird, you know I never allow second questions, but I'm going to allow this one because this is my favorite kind of question, and I think people can really benefit from seeing this done. So, I had a really formative relationship in my early to mid-20s and would really love to know if things could have worked out. I feel like it could have. Okay, so we look at that relationship. Okay, so yes, that was a formative relationship. Okay, agreed that it was. Could things have worked? To a point, yes. And I think when you say, I think they could have, you know, this is what you're seeing, right? The things there that were really good. But then there's also this and this. I don't think that the person that you were in the relationship with was going to be able to grow with you. And I think that would have been the problem in the long run. Okay. Here we go. Here we go, Gina. Here's your question. And I get, from Barbie. She's thinking. That makes sense. Okay, good. Good. Okay, let's see. Gina Rutledge, that's where we're at here. And then Jackie Masters. Hang on a minute. Okay. From Gina Rutledge, what do I need to do to bring more of the positive characteristics of my younger self forward to assist my current self? Ooh, right. And I know how that feels, right? You know, when I was young, I used to be so ... but I seem to have lost that. How do I bring that back? I understand that completely. Oh my goodness gracious. And honestly, I think you have to be less critical of yourself. I think the way to welcome those positive characteristics back into your life is to be significantly less critical of yourself and to feel empowered to make choices. You know, I think when we're younger, we're like, okay, I like this, I don't like that. It's very like, you know, what feels good, what doesn't. And some of that, you know, I know snap judgments aren't really considered to be good, but sometimes just being able to get to your first thought, your first reaction, your first feeling, I think you were very good at that as a child, and as a grown-up, not so much. So that would be another thing that would be, you know, that would be good. And I think you just have to focus on it. The way to bring these characteristics back, because they're still in you, they didn't go away, is just focus on it, and they'll come back. All right, Jackie Masters, here's your thought. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. We appreciate you. I often wonder about the perceived opportunities that were offered to me in my younger years. New directions, chances which could have been good or not. Would my life have been better if I had taken any of them? I've often wondered what if. Have my decisions been good for me? And can I trust myself to make a good decision? Okay, so the perceived opportunities of the past. Like, is there anything there where, like, you really should have jumped on that? I mean, you know, I think every single one of us has that, you know, you were offered to cheaply buy stock in something that then took off, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'd be a millionaire right now if I had. You know, every one of us has some of those. But I really feel like every decision you made was well-reasoned. And some of those things that may have presented as opportunities in the past would have not been opportunities at all. So I don't feel like you missed something important here. I really don't. Have your decisions been good for you? I think sometimes you accidentally shoot yourself in the foot because you can have a negative internal dialogue, specifically sometimes having to do with people and relationship stuff and how we deal with each other, and that can be hard for you. And so I think that that's something that you're still working on shifting out of. And I think your decisions have been good and you can trust yourself to make a good decision, but you have to be careful about not making decisions based entirely on a negative internal dialogue. So be careful about that. All right. I'm reading people's comments. This is so good. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. All right. Ness, this is so smart. I often wonder if things had gone much smoother, maybe I wouldn't even realize how smooth things are and not appreciate or grow into the person I am. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Karen Hendershot. So nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. Growing up, I always took the hard road and it made me the independent person I am now. But was there an easier way that would have made me happier? I think the nature of the hard road that you took, like, I don't think it was a choice. I think people around you, like, I think that narrative may have been formed not by you, but by the people around you. The idea that Karen always takes the hard road, Karen always makes things harder for herself. I think that that might be a narrative coming from other people. And I think the truth of it, you took the only road you could. You being the person you are, the situations being what they were, you had to do that. And this is something you must thank your younger self for, because had you not taken those paths, had you not allowed yourself that independence, the outcome would not have been good at all. Not at all. So there's that. There was not an easier way. No. Okay. Oh, Nalini, thanks for processing that stuff regarding your dad. That makes sense. Audrey M., so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. How do I turn around my wounded child's belief that I am not worthy? It came from growing up with a severely narcissistic mother. Right. All right. Let's see what we got here. So how, Audrey, do you find your own sense of worth? I think you've got to be notice how much this card has come up today, the Five of Swords reversed. It's always sort of this process of contemplation, right? I think, Audrey, you have to be very mechanical about it. What you have to do is every time that feeling of unworthiness comes up and you identify it, either in what you're telling yourself or what you're feeling, look for it, identify it, and when you identify it, you have to say, I am worthy. I am worthy. When I was I was a counselor in training at Methodist Summer Camp, where I met Martha Vank, and we wore buttons one summer that said, I am loving and capable. And I think that has stuck with me all of this time. Talk about formative stuff. I would love to go back to the people who were our counselors for that session and thank them, because all these years later, that really sticks with me. And so now I'll give it to you. Every time you feel unworthy, say, I am loving and capable. See what that does for you. Martha Vink, did I miss you? I miss you every day, but yes, I did miss you. Let me go back and find you, Martha Vink. I'm sorry. But I'm talking about you. I missed you, but I'm talking about you. I'm not seeing you. I see you saying that being in the 60s brings a lot of reflection, which, yeah, certainly it does seem to, doesn't it? Probably because we've got more to the back to look at than to the future. That was mean, I'm sorry. But I am just not seeing your question. And so now, Martha, I am so sorry. I missed you completely to the point that I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and not seeing your question. So Martha Vink, my dear now I've got it. I missed it so far. I've got you. I've got you, and I apologize. Oh no, here it is. What good things from my younger years can I improve upon? What good things from my younger years can I improve upon to continue to grow into my highest and best self? Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the thing is, I knew your younger self, so that's really fun. And it is your ability to connect with people. Personally, professionally, your ability to make connection with people. You did that well as a young person, and with music, with song, with to share joy and connection with others, with laughter, with music, with reverence, with silence. We have this expression in Wicca, let there be reverence and mirth. And I know that that's not the religion that you're in, but I really see you as someone who exemplifies reverence and mirth and always have. So I think bringing that forward is really the thing. Let me know what you think. And again, I'm so sorry I missed you. You got here early, too. And thank you for reiterating your question. Really appreciate it, Martha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Now, let me scroll back. And next up, Smile Soul 20. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. I want to thank my younger self for the certain things that my younger self went through, but how can I heal from that hurt? And that is the key, and it's huge. This is huge. Smile Soul 20, this is huge. The next time you and I speak privately, this is what I want to talk about. I swear to goodness, because you hide it really well. You hide it, you hide it, you hide it. To heal from the hurt, you have to stop hiding it. You hide it from others, you hide it from yourself, and obviously you don't want to go around showing it to everybody. But you have to make friends with it. You have to make friends with the story. And you have to, again, have your gratitude, just as you said, your gratitude toward yourself. not only for surviving it, for learning from it, for coming out the other side. And if you can, I think there are some things about, okay, to let go of the hurt, specifically, there are some things about the actions of other people or on a spiritual level, things that happen that we wish hadn't happened. And like the why of it, you want to know the why of it. And so again, that could be something we could do in a reading. It could also just be something you could think about, like, why did that person do that? Or on a spiritual level, why did that have to happen? And really try to think about it from that perspective. And once you understand that, I think you'll be able to put that in its proper perspective and move forward. This is a really smart question, and you have just really, like, I know, Smile Soul 20, there are things in your life where you are not where you want to be. Work-wise, relationship-wise, financially, there's a lot of things that way. And I think this is the key. I think energetically, if you could do that healing, it would be much easier to achieve the things you want to achieve. For sure. Okay. Okay. Joanne Ellis. First of all, Jackie Masters, thank you for that feedback. Joanne Ellis, I'm a little confused. Okay, so this actually does make sense to the context. Can I ask about my guide? Who is he? You are not the only one that mentions him. I don't feel him, but I'd love to know more. And you're wondering if it is literally someone who you knew in life who passed on. That's how we bring the past in. Was he someone from junior high? Is this the young boy? No, I think if it's something you don't remember, I think it's probably something more spiritual. Probably not so much someone who has passed on, because you'd remember that, but something more spiritual. And it may, this may present as a young child because of some connection from a past life, something of that nature. So I think what you want to do is don't worry so much about who this person was in life, and just sort of ask, tell me who you are now and what you're here and what you're doing. And honestly, the story I get here is this may have been someone that your soul and their soul were very connected in a past life. So it could be something like that. All right. Martha Vink, your dad calls it holy hilarity or holy rowdiness. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh gosh, I'm having, oh my gosh. The best part of being your tarot fairy godmother is that I get to be adjacent to all the interesting things that happen in your life. And this makes me incredibly happy. Adrija Roy, after I broke up with him, he's now texting me as if nothing happened. Not sure why. Can you please pick up some cards about his intention? What the actual? Man, this is a vote of confidence from the universe telling you that you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You did the right thing. You did the right thing even before you saw this. And this is him coming back saying, I have no regard. I have no regard for your anything. But what you told me is there's no future here. But we can still talk, right? We can still talk because I want to talk to you and I don't really care what you want. I think he's just showing his true colors here, which you had already seen, which is why you made the decision you made. So weird. So weird. Lalima Sony, if you would like to get a professional reading with me, all you have to do is go to my website, christianagaudet.com, and you can book directly on the website. Thank you so much for that. Yes, indeed. All right. DH, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. I appreciate you. What good things from my younger self can I bring forward now and improve upon? What a great question. The ability to find complete inner peace in nature, by going to nature and just being peaceful, and the ability to be totally delighted and immersed in a creative project without any self-judgment. So go play outside and have fun getting messy and being creative without judging yourself. Oh, Lalima Sony, I really appreciate that. Yeah, my contact information is on my YouTube channel. Please do feel free to reach out. Would love to speak with you, yes. All right. From my perspective, my friends, I have now, okay. So Lalima Sony, as you can see in this live, we're doing specifically questions related to the past, related to your younger self. So I'd be happy to speak with you about this in a private session, or if you wanted to ask on a Saturday during the Saturday Psychic Sampler, that would be great too. All right, my friends, we have come to the end of our time together today. I want to thank you all for being here. I am very grateful to you. A special shout out to the members and the moderators. If you are a son here on this channel, go to the community tab. There's something there for you. And I'll be back tomorrow with the Friday weekly wrap up. And yes, I am working all weekend. I am available all weekend for sessions with you. I appreciate you. Take really good care. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.